I am Ezekiel. The sounds within you, that the genetics of your physical body, the chromosomes of your physical body, have an ear for the sounds within you. The sounds within you are fueled by the thoughts and the beliefs that you hold. In fact, they respond to this stimulus as if you are responding to an audible physical sound. And in your metaphysical studies, or even in your browsing through these types of conversations in your life, you have heard that the sound is what created this reality. Scripture has said that it is in the beginning the Word. And the power of this Word has created and manifested all of reality. And these scriptures, though they are in many ways the basis and platform for your differences, there is a basis of all scripture that alludes to creating your reality through intentional sound. But to achieve this sound is somewhat difficult. For though you may utter words, to mean them is an entirely different situation. To mean something, what does it mean? You casually say that my hurtful words that I uttered earlier, I did not mean them, and so you seek to rectify a misunderstanding where another person began to feel hurt from what you said. And so you must say that you did not mean it. But the other person receiving it certainly perhaps felt that you did. And perhaps on some level they were correct. And so the dominant vibration of what you feel towards that person, that means what you actually feel, the general goodwill that you have towards that person, is what you feel should win out. And so it is with the cells and the chromosomes of the body. They do not react negatively to every little negative thought that you utter within your being. It is the dominant vibration that they react to. And not to teach you a lesson through dis-ease or sickness, but rather to fine-tune you, to remind you that you are an expanding being, that you are a powerful being, that what you feel means something. Indeed, the great art of the world means something. Even simple art that you feel nothing from means something to someone somewhere, perhaps only the artist herself who created that art. And so, was it not important for that artist to create that art, since no one outside of herself appreciated it? Not at all. It was life-affirming, and it was necessary for the sustainment of that living being to create and express. You see, that which you need to express, when done creatively, simply meaning in a way that pleases you. You see, you are creating at all times. At all times you are creating. Even when you think nothing is happening, you are creating. Because you exist on many levels of consciousness. What you think is your life, this one sitting here, looking at the surroundings, hearing your own internal, simultaneous, multiple conversations happening within you, while listening to the voice coming from this man here. You are creating realities. You are creating your tomorrow. How is that possible when you are not even thinking about September the 30th, 2 years from now? Is it possible that you are creating it? Consider that it is. We are not here to tell you what is at all. We are not here to bestow upon you some divine knowledge that this should be your reality. For you create yours, and the beliefs that you hold should suit you. How do you know if your beliefs are suiting you? The life that you are seeing, that you call yours, in all of its various departments, love, career, health, all of these things.
Siri not available. Connect to...
As you are becoming more aware of the voices that are visiting you, you will hear the connection to information in your quiet moments that come from these other dimensions that are creating your life 2 years from now. You are not even thinking past tomorrow, some of you, let alone 2 years from now. Why is it that change takes so long for so many? How many have changed their lives in the past year or 6 months? Entirely new lives. We are not referring to new homes or new relationships. We are referring to different experiences occurring, not the same old thing occurring again and again, where you then say to yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Why I'm attracting the same things in different forms, the same woman or man in another name or another face. They all seem to meld into one after a while when you do not pay attention to your beliefs. If you believe that the world is a dangerous place, just or unjust, so it shall be, you shall see them. As the old saying goes, in a crowd of saints, even a pickpocket only sees the pockets. For it is, what is your intention? What are you looking for? If you are looking for another partner to complete you, and they appear, then your completion and oneness is solely dependent on their presence as your romantic partner in an official sense, with all of the characteristics that you feel are worthy of a partner involved with you. And so the creations keep occurring. Everything that you experience, you are creating. Very difficult for some to accept. For you may say, I do not wish to create this dis-ease. I did not wish to create the physical state I am in. I did not wish to create this terrible thing that happened in my family. And so we return to asking you, what do you choose to believe? Do you choose to believe that there is divine order, that all things are occurring for beautiful and powerful reasons, always for you and everyone else involved? Or do you choose to believe that these things happen, that such is life, and that there is no control over it, and it shall take forever to get over certain hurts? Which do you prefer? Which do you find to be more effortless? Which has more vision? Which has more breadth and spectrum of inner reception that is musical to yourselves? Or at least not destructive. And so, as you are choosing your words to describe people or things, notice them more. Consider that you might be more aware of them. Not for any moral judgment, you see, but rather to see where they are coming from and whether it is honoring that in you. If you feel that finding a mate that is proper for you is difficult for that specific gender or ethnicity or age group or economic group, is difficult to deal with, so you shall experience it. Or keep hoping and waiting and at the same time resisting the one exception. Find yourself by losing yourself. By losing these identities that you are so stuck to, that you feel define you in every way. While identities are quite delightful, when they are becoming a burden to you, that is what you are noticing and calling the ego. You want to kill an ego. You want to get rid of an ego. You say that was the ego talking, or he or she is in their ego. That is somewhat of a battle cry, meaning that there is a war with the ego. Rather than that ego that you are calling is an identity that has run its course, and time to shed it. As they say here in the circle, to shed the skin as wisely as a snake does. To not drag it around with you, but to leave it behind. The old saying that the more you change, the more you stay the same, have you heard it? What does it mean? Simply put, that the more you change, the more you discover yourself. Layers, identities, dimensions of yourself. Do not limit them. They are limitless by nature. And so comes into question and conversation control. How much you are wanting to control situations. When you are perhaps about to initiate a conversation or make a comment or what have you, it would be interesting to consider beforehand whether you are saying it or doing it for them or for you. Is it simply something that you need to say or do to validate yourself in some way, or to somehow manipulate out of the other person a reaction that would make you feel more comfortable, better, happier, more accepted, not rejected? What would you then even speak of? If you were to go through this inside of yourself, imagine the economy of words would be wonderful. Your words would carry the powerful resonance of what you actually feel, without coming from any guilt or shame, without coming from any blame or victimhood. Imagine that. A natural curiosity, a natural interest. So much energy is spent creating the interface between you and the world. Those who even can move objects with their mind, for those of you who are interested in such a thing, they are surrendering their own personality interface between them and the object. So there is not a control, there is actually a frequency achieved between the two living things. Yes, the cup is living. Place it under a microscope of great strength and you shall see atoms spinning, pulsating. It is alive. And so a certain type of conversation happens between these sages, those who can connect with objects or perhaps communicate with animals. You have the capability. While some are meant to do it on a large scale, some are certainly meant to discover it on a more private scale. You all have your abilities and talents. And some are meant to be shared with the world, and some are meant to simply be used in your own personal experience. And before we leave you, we shall comment one more thing. Some of you get into a bit of a struggle and tug of war within yourself, thinking, I should not need to be told from a teacher what reality is about me or should be. Though you have experienced much growth in these ways, that statement itself is coming from a notion of separation between you and them. if you understand everything as you are creating your reality and co-creating your reality, and that everything is appearing for your benefit, you need not struggle. You will find that it is much gentler in your life experience to see what resonates with you and that which does not, to then be unafraid to consider it. For all of you have taught people some skill at some point in your life. You have conveyed information, teachings to others, whether it is simply how to tie a shoelace, or an equation, or how to cook a meal, or how to discuss business matters. You have conveyed teachings. And you have all come across someone who has absolutely no idea how to do it, haven't you? They are doing the opposite of what you know to work. And they have used their own techniques. And though they have had some success, for they have muscled their way through life with that technique, they are exhausted and are looking for something better. To then say to them, consider there is an entirely different way to live. And you have done it. Do it this way. Try it this way. You are not met with a certain receptivity that one would consider totally open, willing, and enthusiastic. In fact, you will find resistance there, for you are asking them to consider that the sky is green and not blue. And others have tried to teach you the same way. What must you do? Give up on the person? It is your choice. Or you may share and have compassion for their process. For others have had compassion towards you, all of you, those who have taught you, those who you know have taught you, and those who have appeared and taught you and you did not know it at all. You create the vibration over and over again of what creates your life experience. How do you control it better? You do not. You surrender and receive. You are fearful that this is the long way. It is not. Bless you.